Say what's cracking, YouTube? It's your boy 16 to life, and I'm back like I'm on a parole violation. You're down. Now, for those of y'all new to my page, in 1994, I got arrested. I was eventually sentenced to 16 years plus life. I served 24 years straight in the California prison system. During those times, I accumulated some good stories and some good insight and knowledge on things related to the streets. I'm going to share some with y'all today. If you happen to like this story, definitely be sure to hit that like button, leave a comment, subscribe. Most importantly, hit that notification bell. That way, anytime I drop a story, you will be notified ASAP, and you can hop on it whenever you're ready. Let's hop right up into this story right here, man. So, yeah, you guys see the title, and someone has finally been arrested for the murder or being connected to the murder of Tupac Shakur. Now, I did a story maybe about a year and a half ago, right? And I spoke on how Tupac's murder had affected the prison system during the time that I was there, which was in 1996, I believe. I got to Salinas, and I believe Pac was killed maybe 2 or 3 months after I got there in September, right? And so at the time that Tupac was shot, I happened to be in a cell with a well-known, reputable dude from Compton. His name was Big H, also known as Heron, not to be confused with the other Heron who was associated with Death Row. This Heron, Big H, was a Crip, and he was from Compton, from the Grandees. And so the very next day after Pac gets shot, he happens to have a phone call. He goes downstairs, he gets on the phone, he comes back. He said, "Hey, homie, and that was my homeboy that killed Tupac." And initially at the time, I thought that he was just saying something to be kind of like associated with it. I didn't believe it, or that he had got some bad information. And he told me the alleged name, and like I said, this was the day after. Fast forward later on, all the information that he told me as far as who the alleged shooter was and all that, it came out, and it became a well famous name, right? So anyway, fast forward into this now, So now someone has finally been arrested for being connected to the murder, and actually they're charging him with the murder of Tupac. And the dude's name is Dwayne Davis, also known as Keefe D. Now, of course, if you guys are wondering what the D stands for, the D stands for, damn, dog, you can't be that dumb. Now, this dude done got himself arrested pretty much by going on these social media sites, talking about he was there when the murder happened. He even wrote a book, I believe it's known as Compton Street Legends. And he talks about, he gives everybody who wants to read that book, including the police, a pretty much play-by-play description on what happened, right? And so apparently, even though he was from Compton, at some point in time, he was staying in Henderson, Nevada. Now, the police raided his house maybe a couple of weeks ago, searching for evidence, I guess, to connect him with this murder. But around 2018, even though they never had officially closed the case about the murder of Tupac, around 2018, due to Keefe D, the D being for disturbingly dumb, started doing these social media tours and stuff, I guess trying to drum up some attention for the book that he was writing. And so he starts discussing in devastatingly dumb detail the events surrounding this murder. He talks about going to get a gun from one of his friends and securing that gun, and then giving that gun eventually to the person who they claim shot Tupac. Now, unfortunately for Keefe D, the D standing for different type of dummy. Unfortunately for him, of course, he is the only one left, the only surviving person left. So he's the only suspect in this charge. So now what he has been charged with is, he's been charged with 1 count of open murder with the use of a deadly weapon and a gang enhancement. So, and even though they're claiming, I don't believe they're claiming that he was the shooter, because he says that he passed the gun to somebody in the back seat and they shot Tupac. But Las Vegas has what's known as a aiding and abetting statute. And basically what that is if you help a person in any type of way commit a murder or a felony, you definitely can be charged. And so that's what he's definitely being charged with. And I don't understand, man. Like I say, old Keefe D, man. The D standing for damn it, dummy, don't divulge details. I don't understand how this dude could be a so-called gang member, because the Las Vegas police is trying to say that he's the shot caller who orchestrated this murder. So I don't understand how this dude could be entrenched in the gang culture and be so naive and stupid to the fact that there is no limitations on there is no limitations on the statute of murder, or there's no statute of limitations, excuse me, on murder. And basically what the statute of limitations is it never runs out, right? Okay, so say you happen to commit a crime, right? You might get charged with burglary, and the police know who you are, but they never arrested you. They have so many years to arrest you, and then they can no longer even charge you with that case, even though they may have evidence and know that you did it. So in most states, the only two cases that don't have a statute of limitations is attempted murder and murder. So if you do something 30 years ago, if you murder someone 30 years ago, and they come to find out it was you, and they have evidence that you did it, you will still be charged for that. And so murder has no statute of limitations. And like I say, I just don't understand how Keefe D, the D standing for detained in detention, I don't understand how you could not know this, right? And so now he has been arrested. I heard that he was taking a walk outside his home in Henderson, Nevada. I believe he's somewhere around in his early 60s, 62 possibly, right? But he definitely dug his own grave, right? And so I believe in a couple of days he will go to be arraigned, and then at that arraignment, possibly a bail may be set, may not be set, and then he'll proceed with the trial, with the trial hearing and the protocol, and go through everything like that, right? And so in the event, well, let me get right. Let me start here first, right? He happened to go on an extremely popular podcast in the urban world, Vlad TV, and he discussed this type of information in great detail. Vlad read out some excerpts from the book, where he was talking about the murder and stuff like this. And I hear a lot of people say that Vlad is the police, right? I don't believe that, and here's why. Anytime you're supposed to be a street individual, you're supposed to know how to conduct yourself when you are being questioned by the police, which is basically no comment, because they're going to take and twist anything you say, and they're going to definitely try to use it against you. But now, in the event you do go to talking to a person, that's the police or not the police, but asking police-like questions, like they say Vlad asked. That's why a lot of people say Vlad is the police. He asks questions that can potentially get a person brought up on charges. Well, in my opinion, it's up to the person being interviewed to know how to answer that question in a diplomatic way, or not even answer that question at all. Vlad is not sitting there holding a gun to a person's head, making a person answer these questions. A lot of times individuals go on Vlad due to the popularity of his platform, and they are seeking attention for some type of either music arrangement they have, or some type of, in Keefe D's case, a book, coming out. So they want this attention to try to help further whatever endeavor they are proceeding with at that particular time. And so that's what happened, I believe, right there with Keefe D. The D standing for damn it, dummy, you dug your own dungeon. He wanted to go on that show to try to drum up some attention for that book that he released, known as Compton Street Legends, and eventually talked his way into a jail sentence, right? I tried to look up and see how much that book sold, and I was unable to find, how many copies the book sold. But it's a crazy situation. Here you have an incident that happens in 1996, and due to this dude running around, basically attention seeking, Now he has talked his way into a charge that will probably have him locked up in jail for the rest of his life. I just don't understand how, like I say once again, how Keefe D, the D standing for damn it, you better take a deal with the district attorney. I don't understand how he could do something like that, and just be considered a street person, right? Or at some point in time was from the streets. Now, if I was a betting man, I definitely bet that he's going to get convicted on some type of charges. And like I said, at 62 years old, it's way too late to be going to prison, right? And so somebody asked me a good question yesterday in my comment section. They said, hey, Chill, if Keefe D goes to jail out there in Vegas, and the D standing for dead man, because that's pretty much what he is at this point in time at 62 years old. If you can't take a deal for no longer than 5 days. Shit, at 62 years old, shit. Ain't no telling how much time you got left. And so, they asked me, man, how will he be treated out there in the Vegas jail system due to the fact that he's being charged with the murder of Tupac, of course, Tupac being a extremely well-known legend, And to be honest, I really don't know because keeping it real, that murder was a long time ago, 27 years. So, the majority of individuals who had love for Tupac are now probably in their early 50s, mid 40s. It's just a different type of genre nowadays in terms of the music. So, that all remains to be seen. Now, Vegas is a city with a lot of Crips and a lot of Bloods. For those who don't know, they also have a heavy gang culture, a heavy gang presence. So it definitely is possible that someone may see this dude, someone who was a huge Tupac fan, or maybe somebody just looking to score some points, potentially do something to that individual. But like I said, each state, sometimes their politics surrounding Crips and Bloods is a little bit different from the California politics. So I don't know. That remains to be seen. But that definitely is a good question, And so, yeah, somebody just told me to make a video about my opinion on this situation. And like I said, I just think that it was extremely dumb, man. Extremely dumb for Keefe D, to come on here and get on these social platforms and talk about the murder of Tupac and his participation in it, and now he's dug himself his own grave. But anyway, you already know what it is, man. It's your boy 16 to life. Resume normal program.